Welcome, everybody. Are you a fan of sci-fi films and novels? Have you ever had creepy thoughts? If your answer is yes, well, this video is for you. We talk about SETI. That stands for Search for Extra-Terrestrial Intelligence Program, and the 10 technosignatures of alien civilizations that we hope we'll never detect. First, let's talk briefly about what is the main purpose of the SETI program, for those among you that don't know what SETI is. An interstellar journey to visit another civilization in a distant world, at least for now, is beyond the technological possibilities of human civilization. However, we are able to use very sensitive receivers to search the sky for any radio signals of artificial origin generated by non-human civilizations. SETI is a very complex project. It is a program dedicated to the search for extraterrestrial intelligent life, evolved enough to be able to send radio signals into the cosmos. The program also takes care of sending signals of our presence to any other civilizations able to pick them up. Proposed in 1960 by Frank Drake, still one of its directors, in 1974 the SETI Institute was finally born. The starting point for the SETI program was the discovery that exoplanets are common. This has radically changed our view of the universe. The likelihood that there are habitable worlds everywhere in the universe seems more plausible than ever before. Astronomers are developing new instruments to help search for life on other planets. By analyzing data from exoplanets and identifying biosignatures, or technosignatures, we will be able to search for habitable planets and the presence of life. But what are biosignatures and technosignatures? A technosignature is any measurable property or effect that provides scientific evidence of past or present technology. Technosignatures are analogs to the biosignature that signal the presence of life, whether or not intelligent. Today we will focus on some of the creepiest and saddest technosignatures we might detect in the future with the help of better technologies. Number 1. Necrosignatures. One type of SETI technosignatures that we aren't very likely to ever see, but remains possible, is the concept of a necrosignature. The idea of seeing an alien civilization at or near the moment of its extinction. If you think about it, it is probably one of the creepiest types of evidence for an alien civilization that we could ever find. This type of events tend to, of course, be very brief, and you simply have to be looking in the right place at the right time to see them. Imagine an astronomer minding his own business in his observatory, and then all of a sudden he detects brief characteristic flashes of gamma rays on nearby exoplanets that might signal a nuclear exchange, or a signature of some pathogen killing huge amounts of life on that world. Such an ill-fated astronomer. This would look like a dramatic short-term rise in methane and ethane in the exoplanet's atmosphere that could be traced to the death and rotting of an entire biosphere after some catastrophe. Yet another might be the presence of artificial chemicals of a dangerous nature, such as the presence of CFCs in an exoplanet atmosphere that might signal that the civilization is terraforming a planet or ruining their own. The scenario would invariably open up questions of our own demise. If we saw enough of them, we might conclude that all civilizations simply destroy themselves, and someday we likely will too, which would be really sad. Imagine an alien civilization that knew of Earth, said they detected our oxygen levels, and concluded Earth had a biosphere. They might also pick up our own technosignatures, such as radar and possibly even radio communications. Then all of a sudden they see a bunch of gamma ray flashes, followed by a rapid rise in methane, and afterwards the planet is never quite the same, and the radio signals go silent. Let's hope they, or we, never detect necrosignatures. Number 2. Galactic tombstones. Imagine you were an advanced alien from an advanced civilization that is about to turn the lights off because of a fatal error it made, and wanted to give some warning signs to other civilizations out there. One of the sadder possibilities within speculation about alien civilizations is that we may not find a thriving galaxy-spanning empire out there, but rather a kind of tombstone. This could come in many forms, such as a SETI signal that, when decoded, explains that the civilization broadcasting it has gone extinct, and gives a laundry list of things that other civilizations should never do. This might cover things like the development of advanced artificial intelligence or antimatter weaponry, or even exotic forms of matter. Another possibility is an artifact within or passing through the solar system that gives clear evidence of warfare, such as a destroyed ship. While a long shot, it is possible that the first evidence we see of an alien civilization comes from a long-dead one, and it's always possible that we may never detect any evidence of a living alien civilization. The rule of civilization in the universe is that it always comes to an end, one way or another. Number 3. Incomprehensible signals. Imagine if you were a human from 5,000 years ago and someone handed you a computer. You not only wouldn't know what it was or what it did, you would be missing much of the basic knowledge of the device to even figure it out. It might ring, but you'd only know what that was if you were familiar with telephones. In general, if you accidentally answered the call, which would be truly accidental, you would hear a disembodied voice, a very weird voice, speaking to you. Now, let's say you could figure out the language of that voice. You still wouldn't know what a speaker was, and you wouldn't know how to talk into the device. In this case, you might try to find a way to answer, or you might instead destroy the phone, fearing demons. And yes, history tells us that humans did these type of things a lot in the past. Or bless it and put it in a temple, or think the whole thing's silly and use it to level out the table. But once you knew it wasn't magic and got used to the whole idea of cell phones, you would see its utility and perhaps even start producing and selling one. And you will surely find someone who's interested in buying one. So there might be a highly advanced alien civilization, and for all we know, communication between advanced civilizations is all around us. We just don't know how to detect it. Yet at some point, as our technology advances, we may detect it, but there is no guarantee we'd understand it or even understand how it worked. It might be totally mystifying invoking science we don't understand, but one thing would be clear, that we were surrounded by alien civilizations far, far more advanced than our own. Such a situation tends not too well for the less advanced civilizations. Doesn't it give you the creeps? Number 4. Messages from dead universes and beyond. Have you ever heard of the theory stating that we're living in just one of the infinite series of a repeating universe? Have you ever heard of the simulation theory? Well, if one of the two is correct, we might expect to receive messages from dead universes and beyond. How? Let's dive into it. Within cosmology is the idea that our current universe may not be the first one, but rather another in a long series of repeating universes. Physicist Roger Penrose has suggested that it may be possible, and there is some evidence of this, that remnants from the previous universe might be discernible in the cosmic background radiation. That is electromagnetic radiation from the Big Bang. The origin of this radiation depends on the region of the spectrum that is observed. One component is the cosmic microwave background. This component is red-shifted photons that have freely streamed from an epoch when the universe became transparent for the first time to radiation. Its discovery and detailed observations of its properties are considered one of the major confirmations of the Big Bang. Another controversial idea opens up the possibility of someone in that previous universe possibly encoding a message in the afterglow of the Big Bang. While there is no evidence of a message, if such a thing were ever found, it would be amazing, and it would represent a message from before the Big Bang in another universe that was reaching its end. This would likely be a sad, creepy message indeed from some civilization preparing to turn the lights out and simply cease existing. In principle, they might tell us who they were and what the end of our own universe is going to be like. Perhaps they received messages from even earlier universes and then passed those messages along to us. What if this was the only chance for us to send messages to another universe? If this is indeed possible, it would represent something unique and would presumably be a message that could be read by almost any species in the universe and might form a commonality between all civilizations. If the messages from civilization to civilization, from the universe to the universe, can be deciphered, they will form the basis of a universal common language. Number 5. Vanishing stars. Nowadays, we are collecting samples from the moon and from comets, such as the Rosetta mission and the Hayabusa Japanese mission. These missions collected samples in order to have a better knowledge of the materials on the moon and comets. But let's say in the future we needed raw materials. Could our technology be helpful to extract raw materials from stars, natural satellites, and asteroids? The answer is yes. In fact, say we decided to mine an asteroid for its raw materials. Depending on the composition, they contain many materials that are already of value, such as platinum, but also materials in the future that may be of value simply because they are already located in space and do not need to be launched in space, such as iron and nickel. Because of this, it can be envisioned that someday an entire asteroid might simply disappear due to the mining activities of humans. No doubt much of this mining will someday be automated, sending robots with advanced AI to do the dirty, dangerous work instead of humans. Did you see the Boston Dynamics video? Would be a good option, and it could be made without any effort from us. At this point, many asteroids would disappear, and perhaps even the disassembly of entire planets in the solar system might start. We may even begin to mine the sun, so to speak, through stellar lifting. It's at that point that our mining activities might become visible to others. Now imagine an advanced civilization, say a civilization many times more advanced that can visibly change stars or even make them disappear entirely. Looking for stars that change their appearance in unnatural ways is a current hot topic within SETI, since we have a number of periodic sky surveys already finished in which to search for such a thing. Now, detection like this wouldn't be particularly frightening, though what would happen if some advanced civilization started to eat the sun? Better not to think about it. As you can see, sometimes reality seems to be more creative than sci-fi authors. There are many chances for us to get in contact with aliens, either in direct or indirect ways. SETI is giving its contribution to the search of alien civilizations, and it might be possible to have proof of life on another planet in the following years. Let's just hope we don't detect creepy technosignatures as the ones mentioned in this video.
Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face, tell me that you love me, even if it's fake.